Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahümme gfir zunubena, Allahümme erhamna, Allahümme erhamna acileyna, Allahümme istahtimna fi hidmetil Kur'ani vel imani vel islami bis saadeti ve selameti ve sıhhati vel afiyeti vel ihlasi ve sabri ve sekine. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve ceal li veziran min ehli Harun ahi üştüd bihi ezri ve eşrikhu fi emri kay nusebbihake kesira ve nezkurake kesira inneke kunte bina basira. La havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim. Ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etba'ihi ve sellem velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Amin. We will continue to study the story of Sulaiman in the Quran, and we studied up to the verse 28, and this 28 says, he said, the Prophet Sulaiman said, O council, which of you will bring me her throne before they come unto me in submission? This is an interesting way of presenting the case. Before they come to me in submission may be understood as submitting to my power. But we don't want them to submit to our power. The prophets don't want anybody to be under his control or power at all. What is their mission is very simple: to present the message they receive from God to the people, and they want people's spirit, people's soul to be saved from slavery of this transient world and the slavery of the meaninglessness. So he doesn't want them to submit to his power, but he wants them to bring her throne to him. what does it mean? What do you understand from bringing the throne to him? What does this throne represent? It represents power, authority. But the prophets are not interested in taking over the power of other rulers. Prophets are interested in taking over the hearts, the understandings of the people, so that if they are educated within the teachings of the message of the prophets, they will be saved and they will submit themselves, their worldly life, to God, not to the person of the prophets. This is very important to understand the history of Islam as well. We keep hearing and reading the interpretation of the history of Islam in such a way that the rulers, of course, after the four first guided caliphates, the Muslim society had been taken over by sultanate, the kingdom. So the kings want to impose their power. It is not the purpose of Islam. We see that the Suleiman doesn't want the people of Sheba and the queen of Sheba to submit his power. What he wants to get the power he gains over the people, she gains over the people, submitting to him. But we understand that Queen's power is represented by the throne and not the power, physical power that the Prophet Suleiman is after. Her power in terms of her understanding and the people's understanding of the word. That is why they established their power on this understanding in the word. But the other power, the physical power, is given to them by God. But what their choice is, their understanding of creation, their understanding of the meaning of this word. This is crucial to notice that when the kings in the Islamic history, and even until very recently, very late, now we can talk about the situation now in a minute. They wanted to take over the power of the people, the kings, but the people who were sincere, who were happy with the message, they wanted to introduce the message to the people. But what is needed, some kings of the ruling class in certain societies didn't want them to spread the message. So what they did it secretly or another way, teaching people this way or another way. And when the majority of the root of the society, it means really general public, became aware of the truth of Islam, then with the help of these people, Muslims went there to this country and asked the kings, ruling class, and their people, supporters around them, those people who are exploiting them, they said, okay, stop this oppressing the people because they don't want you. Let them be free. And let us also speak to the people freely and convey the message to them. If you don't let us, if you don't give the permission, it means leaving the material, physical power aside, we will topple you down, take you down with the help of the people. That's why it was extremely interesting to understand that how even during the caliphate of Umar, they went to Persian Empire, Pars Empire, that time. And they invaded, and also the king or Shahanshah of that country were taken down, and their palace is taken away, their power is disseminated completely. How would they do it? Who were the Persians? This is very interesting to notice. Persians were one of the most powerful army in the world. On the one side, Roman Empire, on the other side, Persian Empire. They were almost equal. Persian Empire defeated Roman Empire sometimes. Roman Empire defeated the Persian Empire sometimes. Anyways, this is also a subject in the Quran, saying that ultimately the Roman Empire will defeat the Persians. That is something else. It is not related to our subject now, although that subject is interesting, how the Quran deals with the subject and what is the wisdom in it. So the people from Arabian Peninsula, the Bedouins, not educated in army at all, went to Iran, that now is Iran, this area, Persia, and knocked the Sultanate down and freed the people and gave them freedom and spread the message to them, although the message was already there, but they just widely and openly, freely conveyed the message to people, and they embrace Islam that time. So how and a people could really defeat the strongest power of the world that time with no weapons, with no training, no trained soldiers, army. And they are used to fighting in desert conditions, and the land of Persia had nothing to do with desert. Only some small parts, of course, but the capital city where the king, the Shah, was there, was not the desert area at all. It is unimaginable to defeat these people, this army, by the Bedouin Arabs that time. No army at all, prepared army, educated, trained army that time. What we understand from it, the message invaded the hearts and minds of the people, and they loved it. And with the help of the local people, the Shah was defeated and they got the power there, or freed the people, and they were they joined the Medina administration at that time. Likewise, we understand here that the Prophet Sulaiman also wants her throne before they submit to Sulaiman. It means now this power that they have must be eliminated first. So what he did, who is going to bring their power, which is at that time, whatever the belief system they had based on this belief system, who is going to bring that power to him? And when they call Sheba come over to see the Suleiman, of course, there was no war. And when she came to the Prophet Suleiman, the Suleiman said, do you see this throne? Now we will understand that it is extremely symbolic. We will understand this. And how it happened, the following verse says, a powerful and crafty jinn replied, Ifrit, which is called the name Ifrit, I will bring it to you before you can even rise from your place. I am strong and trustworthy. Look at this. Isn't that interesting? Powerful and crafty Ifrit. Well, they translated jinn, doesn't matter. Representative of what? Power and craftiness. So I am strong and trustworthy. What does it mean? This person is, or whoever it is, of course, it represents a certain personality. This person is relying on his strength. His power, but it may be his own knowledge, like the scientists. We can interpret the nowadays scientists. We can interpret the meaning or the purpose of this existence, this universe, this world, by finding out within the universe with our scientific investigations and trying to understand what really this world is all about. Again, their own strength, but we know that the prophets don't rely on their own strength. They rely on, if we, we can go back to the very beginning of our discussion. We read the verse saying that we taught David and Suleiman knowledge and wisdom from us. So their power comes from the knowledge and wisdom from God, not the physical power or really bestial power or their own reasoning, the power of their own intellect. Of course, there is nothing wrong with intellect, we have to understand, but the intellect must use the guidance from the Creator. So the power will come from the wisdom taught by God. That is one side. How am I going to defeat a person who, for example, denies the truth, denies the reality. I can think about it and I can find out how to defeat them, which is called pure rationality. Pure rationality cannot find the absolute truth. Absolute truth is only possible when we get the guidance, which is revelation from God, explaining what the real face, the meaning of this word is all about, which is called in the language of the Quran, the melekut samawati wal ard, the angelic side of the universe in general, or the heavens and the earth, means the whole creation. What does it mean? Not the physical appearance of it, but its meaning, referring to something else. We know this, we have been discussing this aspect of the creation for years. So we are familiar with it. It means the meaning which demonstrates the qualities manifested in them and referring them to their creator. So the message, without the message from God, we cannot really understand what is the exact meaning of the universe refers to, which is the absolute one. Human mind can guess. It has within its capacity, it is within his capacity, it is given this, there must be something, but we don't know who or what it is. That is why we, human beings, are given the capacity to question what the reality of this world is. We say it is very strange. I cannot explain it in a simple way. It is so complicated. And the complicated doesn't mean that it is not perfect in its creation. No, it is so deep that I cannot really comprehend perfectly what the meaning of this word is referring to. So we have to understand that it refers to what? Something beyond it itself, but we don't know. So the message comes and explains it very simply and teaches us how to transfer this matter into reality. That is the following verse will say now. Let's go further. Now, it says, the verse 40, the one who had knowledge of the book said. Now, knowledge of the book was من الكتاب, علم من الكتاب. Kitab means the revealed guidance from God. So the knowledge of the book said, not his power. I am strong. Ifrit said, I am strong. This is this represents the human rationality, the Ifrit. But this knowledge of the book represents the following the message by using human reasoning. So because the message itself tells us or lets us know that you have to use your reasoning in order to understand the message. So let's continue. One who had knowledge of the book said, I will bring it to you within the twinkling of an eye. Immediately, it means. When Solomon saw it placed before him. Even he didn't need to stand up. I mean, this person from the counseling, the Ifrit would bring his, as a result of his power, and defeat the queen's ideology, not physical power really, because the throne itself is nothing. I mean, it may be wonderful, it may be full of very precious stones, etc., but it means what? Nothing. So the real problem is complete understanding of this nation must be transferred into what the message God sends to them. What happened at the end? The throne brought, it means we can understand that their false understanding was knocked down. It means La ilaha is established. Because through the teachings of the prophet, first what the teachings of God through the prophets, what we understand, this word has no reality in and of itself. This word refers to something else. It itself doesn't have any power, any quality whatsoever, but the one who gave existence to them, to this word, gave the word the meaning, or what they refer to as a sign, what it is or who it is. So let's see, when Solomon saw it placed before him, he said, "This is by the grace of my Lord to test me." Let's stop here. This is by the grace of my Lord. What the other person said, I'm going to defeat him with my power. I am crafty. I can do lots of very tricky matters. But the Solomon said, no, this is the grace of my power. Immediately transfers the material throne into, if you like, God's throne. Because we will see that God's throne is almighty. So how does it happen? Through the help of the message, we can understand that the matter itself is not bad, is not, if you like, dirty, not to be really disposed of or ignored, but we need to transfer the matter into reality. How? By using the matter and what is reflected there and finding out all the qualities manifested in it and immediately refer these qualities to its maker, originator, creator. How this perfect, immediate transfer from La ilaha into illallah. How it is going to, how the verse describes it. This is now only with the help of the knowledge of the book, the beginning of the verse, only the help of the knowledge of the book, we can comfortably turn this transient world into an eternal world, infinite world. So let's complete this part of the verse. Now, this is by the grace of my Lord to test me. It means you and me, and including the Suleiman himself, whether I am grateful or ungrateful. It means whether I will appropriate this success to myself or to Allah, to God. Because only through the book, the knowledge from the book, can help us find out the ultimate truth. Otherwise, we will be stuck within the limitations of this world. That is very important transformation from the created beings, from the qualities manifested in the created beings, the message from God or the revelation, God's guidance teaches us immediately turn it into creator's qualities, which are absolute. But human mind cannot reach absolute. Human mind wanders unless it is taught, unless it is educated. We have to understand that we shouldn't go to extremes. One extreme is complete rationality. The other extreme is claiming that, it is very famous expression, reason is lame. It means it cannot really go itself. Yes, that is correct, but it shouldn't go to the extreme that reason must be left behind. You cannot understand the revelation without the reason, and reasoning, it means human mind, human intellect, is created for a purpose to act as a tool. Tool for what? To understand the message. Not find out the truth by itself, but when the teaching comes, is revealed to us, we have to use our reasoning to understand the teaching. Like the students in the school, they don't know the subject. That's why they go to school, to learn. Although they don't know, but they have the tool, which is intellect. When the professor teaches them, shows the way how to reason, do they become aware of it? Oh yeah, I understand. That is exactly how it happens in our relationship with the revelation of God, God's knowledge. It means God's guidance. The books, or we call it, for example, the Muslims call it the Quran, the Jews call it the Torah or the Bible, whatever. But God's guidance in general, I'm using it in a generic sense, God's guidance. When God's guidance comes through the prophets, we have to reason and understand and comprehend. We become able to comprehend them. But the middle way, or the correct way, the very human way, I'm created with an intellect. This intellect asks the question, but it cannot get the answer. For example, if a student enrolls in, let's say, the Department of Chemistry, he wonders how the things are, these chemical reactions are happening in the world, how the order of the universe is established in this way. So let's discover it or uncover it. But he doesn't know. He starts taking the courses from the professors who have already trained, educated about it, and he starts learning, and then he becomes aware of what chemistry is all about. Exactly, we human beings are created with the need of teaching of God. Without the guidance from God, we know that these things, the chemical things are happening, but we don't know how. We cannot really discover them. But we need, it doesn't mean that we cannot discover at all. We cannot discover by ourselves. We have to take education. We have to get training about it. That's why we understand from this wisdom that we are created with this wisdom, within this wisdom, we need guidance from the Creator. Who is this that who made me in this world and who gave me the intelligence to ask the question, what is the meaning of living in this world? Why am I here? Who put me here? And I thought, no, I cannot go beyond the limits of this universe. I cannot imagine Ghaib. So Ghaib says, I am the one who made it. You can find out in this way. And the way I created the things shows it. So immediate transfer, how? Using the matter and human intellect under the guidance of the knowledge of the book, Revelation, we immediately turn La ilaha and into illallah. It means the word in this word itself is not the source of existence of itself, cannot be. Look at the qualities in it, and these qualities are only the manifested, created, manifested form of the qualities of its creator. And these qualities, look at the word in general, it must be operating in such a way that your intellect understands it must be an absolute being, cannot be describable within the conditions of this world. We keep repeating this point in our discussions. Why it is the most essential thing to transfer the material power into an truth, acknowledged power, submission to the Creator. This is only possible through the knowledge of the book. Okay, I found the word tool is a good word to understand. Tool is something different than source. It is just tool. We need to use it only. Thank you, Kobe. That is a good point. Yeah, we have to emphasize that we are given the tools, but we are not given the result in this world. So we have to use the tools and investigate the creation under the guidance of the teachers, it means the prophets, and we can transfer the throne from the material power into a spiritual enlightenment. What the Queen of Sheba is going to be enlightened when she meets Suleiman. It is a wonderful story. I'm amazed this detail that the Quranic expression reveals to us. It is not easy. It is sorry. It is not difficult to understand it. But if we put everything in historical case and say that, Prophet Solomon displayed a miracle at what the Quran says, okay, and the throne of Queen was immediately transferred into this world. Maybe miracles are possible and happens all the time. And it may physically happen as well, but I haven't seen it. I cannot approve it, confirm it. What is the meaning of teaching or narrating this event to me? To admire somebody who was created thousands of years ago. I don't know where was it, who was it. I have no clue about it. And his miracle is narrated to me. Well, okay, good for him. Or it is God's miracle. All right, possible. What is the lesson for me? I don't know. Admire somebody whom I have no idea. That is not the way of approaching the Quran as far as we understand from certain scholars. So whether I am grateful or not, it means the Prophet transfers the matter into matter or material power into a spiritual power, enlightenment of the intellect, human intellect. But he has no share in taking pride of this. He must be aware of it. And they don't. I mean, the most recent knowledge we have, historical knowledge available for us about the Prophet Muhammad and about the Prophet Jesus. This is very, very recent event, these are, and historically they are translated to us. The other about the narration of Moses is mostly from the book itself, not historical evidence for it. Anyways, so especially the Prophet Muhammad, everything is detailed, written, and the eyewitnesses narrated, they are recorded, etc. We see no sign that the Prophet Muhammad took pride of his success. No sign. There are some hadiths saying that I am representing the truth, means I am really telling the truth. My revelation is really correct. It is really true. So you can really comfortably confirm it. So with no hesitation, you can do that. So anyways, what's that? Let me see just a minute. There's something strange going on. No. Okay. All right. So he's aware, or of course, in the narration, when narration says that Solomon said, this is by the grace of my Lord to test me whether I am grateful or ungrateful. This is teaching for me that, you know, when you are successful in obtaining the belief in ghaib, be thankful, be grateful to God, not to your own intellect. You see, I am able to do this. No, don't take power of it. This is the teaching. This is the message to me now, taught on the example of the Prophet Sulaiman. So I'm reading it. So whenever I realize the truth, when my heart feels comfortable in believing in absolute creator and also eternal life in the hereafter, I have to be grateful to God because of his knowledge and because of the prophet he employed to practice this knowledge in worldly terms. If someone is grateful, truly her great gratitude is for his or her own soul. If you are grateful, then you will benefit from it because you will put your trust when you are grateful to what? To what? The one who sent the book, who sent the revelation to you, or employed the prophet for you to bring the message and represent it to you in practical terms. So if you are grateful to God, it is for your own good. Why? If anyone is, I'm reading the following last sentence of the verse. If anyone is ungrateful, truly, my Lord is self-sufficient, the most generous. Yeah. He is self-sufficient. He is most kareem, most generous. It means doesn't need your grace. So if you are not if you are ungrateful, then you will be the one who loses, not God, because the creator of the universe is not going to take any pride that, oh, these people acknowledged or not, because he is the one who created you and me. Yeah, that is obvious. So what does it mean? What is the significance of this very wonderful verse here? It's amazing. The message is amazing, deep, deep, very deep, really. Although it seems to be simple if you read it in historical context or as an event related to event happened during the life of the Prophet Sulaiman, it is just narrating a miracle and not much significant, really, but it doesn't have much significance. So if I am grateful, it means that is the teaching of my God. It means the absolute being is my teacher. Can you imagine? He is teaching me the truth. Can you imagine? The absolute being is your teacher, your Lord, your owner, your master, the one who takes care of you. But if you say, I gained this one with my own intellect. I learned it, and I'm a very knowledgeable man. You trust yourself and limit your hope within the capacity of your own intellect. That is the difference. Limited to your capacity on a transient way, transient base. The other one is living your existence and being thankful to your creator, who is the absolute one. So you can have an eternal happiness from him, eternal satisfaction from him. But if you confine yourself, limit yourself to the limits of your own power, you say, I'm a great man, but you are great as much as you are who you are. So when you get old, you start forgetting the things, and it is hard to remember what you are going to do, what you have done, and then you die away. So if you are grateful, if we are grateful, it is for our benefit. If we are ungrateful, we will be the one who loses. Not the God is going to lose anything. So this wonderful verse, I said, we have to study it really in deep, as much as we can, of course, as much as we can. So we learned this one, the verse 40 from this one, that we have to follow the guidance of the knowledge of the book. It means revelation. So, all right, let's go one step ahead, verse 41. He continued, transform her throne so that she may not know it as hers. Let's see whether she allows herself to be guided to the truth or remains one of those who will not be guided. Now, here is the power, her understanding of the universe, the meaning of the existence, and we will bring it and transfer this power into the truth, which means the power of God's absolute throne. So it means her own knowledge, her own material power, physical power, will be transferred into submitting herself to absolutely powerful one who is the creator, if she realizes that this world or the power of this world is just transient and nothing but God's power will suffice her because it is absolute. Now, this is now how the conversion takes place. I don't know whether we experience the conversion within ourselves. We should, especially those of us like me who were born into a Muslim family or Muslim community. We tend not to bother about conversion. Why? We carry on the culture we inherit from our society or our family background. But this is what the test we all need to go through. Test means here transformation, whether I will accept this transformation or I will carry on my traditional culture and my traditional understanding of religion as I hear it, without really taking it seriously, reasoning about it, and confirming it, whether it is true or not, being satisfied within my own self. So let's read the verse again. It is very important, this word, the structure of this word. Transform the throne, this physical throne now, physical power, intellectual power. I can understand the reality by myself, so that she may not know it as hers. So change it and say, this has no meaning at all. No, it is not the power at all. This is transient. You will die away. No one will remember you after a certain time. Even they remember, you will go into another world and you will have nothing to do with this world anymore. They're remembering you, or your memories left in this world has nothing to do with you anymore. Whether she will say, she will understand that she may not know it as hers. It means this doesn't belong to you, the power. It belongs to somebody else. So let's transform it. It means let's teach her. Let's teach her what we received from revelation. As a prophet, Suleiman is expected to teach her the message, not that taken sword that time, not the gun or something else, that he will force her to submit herself to Solomon himself or to his power. No, it cannot. But let's read now. Transform her throne so that it means from La ilaha into illallah, so that she may not know it as hers. Let's see whether she allows herself to be guided. Look at this verse. To be guided to the truth, of course, to the revelation, or remains one of those who will not be guided, saying, insisting that I will see my throne as it is without transforming it or without being transformed into powers or throne of God. No, that is amazing. These verses are really very amazing, striking for me, mind-blowing, with a simple example. It's unimaginable. Very simple example. The great revolution that we have to take in our life is taught here. Practically. Nothing to do with her transformation. This is my transformation, your transformation from relying on this word and maybe taking proud of our power or saying that I have some money, that's enough, I have a good profession, I can manage with my life. No, just we have to submit it and leave everything to God. It means recognize that, acknowledge that all these things, in fact, belongs to God, just given to me to be utilized, to be used in order to reach the truth, in order to grasp the truth. They are all given to me, given tools, means. I have to utilize them. When she arrived, this is very important. Now let's see what the verse will say. When she arrived, she was asked. Okay, so Qila, she was asked. Doesn't matter who asked her, doesn't matter. Is this your throne? I mean, my worldly power and God's worldly power. Look, sorry, God's worldly power, that's strange language. God's infinite power. Both of them are apparent, this power. Yeah, apparently they are power. So whether when she arrived, she was asked, is this your throne? It means, does the power belong to you, really? She replied, it looks like it. Yeah, that's what the conversion takes place gradually. So Solomon said, we were given knowledge before her, and we devoted ourselves to God. So we already know that it doesn't belong to her at all. It belongs to God. But how are we going to teach her now? So how are we going to make her realize that it is not hers? Look at the story here, how God really teaches the real message to us, what we need to know. How did she come? Why did she come? Not explained. Why? They are not the point. This is not the point. So this is my story. I will look at my power and is it mine or it is given to me by its real owner? Can I claim that my intelligence belongs to me? Think about it. It looks like, as the verse says, see, it looks like it. So as if I'm thinking, I am learning, really, I am reasoning, as if it looks like it. This is my knowledge, that's my throne. But Suleiman says, oh, we are sure that they don't belong to us. We are given I was given existence, I was given life, etc. So 43, the time is up. Let's read the 43 as well. While what she was worshipped, what she worshipped beside God prevented her from believing, as she is from a people who denied the truth. Okay, her background. Yeah, because she was grown into a culture, and this culture denied the truth. It means just saw this world as it is, and they were proud of their own power, and they didn't realize, uh, is it really possible that that is my power? Really? Is it really possible? Can I really have it? She didn't realize that. That is why she was among the deniers. But Solomon will present her the message, and we will see what will happen, inshallah, in the following next week, inshallah. So let's study this. This is very important, verse 44, next week, so that we will have a free time, comfortable time to concentrate on the deep meaning of these wonderful, extraordinary verses. I mean, I may not be able to express it, but you can get the gist of it if you just relate it to yourself, inshallah. We should not read the stories of the prophet as historical events narrated to us about the life of a prophet. I may take an example from them. No, it is not. It is not the way to read the stories of the prophet in the Quran, inshallah. Inshallah, I see you next Wednesday. I think you all know that next Friday, the next Saturday, the class, we unfortunately not be able to have the class next Saturday, but following Saturday. So next Monday, inshallah, we will continue studying the section Qamar. And starting from 44, we will continue the story of Sulaiman on Wednesday, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi hurmati